Welcome back, everyone. I'm really excited to drop another training for all of you. This one will be focused on copywriting. It kicks off our series of trainings that are going to be focused exclusively on copywriting. These trainings can be applied to pretty much any kind of offer you want to sell. Obviously, if you have an e-commerce business, this will be very relevant for all of you. But just so you guys know, the trainings I'm about to release can be applied to pretty much any offer you want to sell, whether it's an info product or a physical product. It doesn't really matter. It's been a while since I've released a training, and that's been, I take full responsibility for that. Q4 was extremely busy, and I just didn't have time to get around to making these videos for all of you. But the good news is that I will be releasing a lot of content for all of you going forward in the next few weeks. So stay tuned. I really thank you for all your patience. And I will be making up for lost time by releasing more content more frequently in the coming weeks. I also was a little sick, so you may hear it in my voice a little bit, but I am recovering, and as soon as I felt better, I felt that I needed to get a training out the door for all of you. So as I was saying, the next few weeks will be focused on copywriting, and my thoughts on copywriting have shifted quite a bit in the past couple of years. And while I believe there is a huge opportunity for people who want to sell products using direct response tactics, I have definitely found that shorter form copy that's less aggressive, it definitely has its place, especially when it comes to compliance issues with Facebook and other ad platforms. So we're going to be covering all aspects, all different styles of copy. Obviously a high-end offer, something that's more luxurious, is not going to be relying on a lot of copy, whereas something like a course that you're selling with like a ClickBank style offer, that's going to require much longer form copy. So I think one of the interesting things that hasn't been covered in all the copywriting courses and books that you've probably read or haven't read is that longer form copy is something that a lot of people preach and recommend. And I think there's a place for long form copy, the long form direct response style, 30, 40 minute video sales letters and the sales pages that go on and on and on. I think there's definitely a place for that. However, as I've come to grow as an online entrepreneur, especially in e-commerce, I think there's something to be said for shorter form copy that's straight to the point and is much less aggressive to get sales. So I think what I want to clear up here is I think copy that's less aggressive can lead to a better customer experience. And this is probably because you're not making as many promises, and when you make bold claims like you often do in direct response, it can be very difficult to back them up. And so what I've found is that aggressive copy is good for increasing the average order value. And if you have a business where you have customers coming in that don't buy a second time, you need to increase the average order value as much as possible, because they're never coming back again to buy. On the other hand, if you have a business that's built around a high quality product and there are going to be a lot of repeat purchases and people will come and buy other products from your business, then your copy doesn't really have to be that aggressive. And it's partly because you're providing a good customer experience. So let's say you're a Tai Lopez selling, a course that's not really that high quality. You need to be able to stack up as many upsells and downsells as possible. You need to be very aggressive with your claims. to make people buy as much as possible on the first shot. And so when you see really aggressive copy that's very, that agitates emotions and, it's all for one purpose, to get you to buy as much as possible on that first purchase. So, average order value is really the most important part. And so direct response copy that maximizes your AOV is what a lot of people focus on. On the other hand, if you have a business with a high LTV, not necessarily a high AOV, it doesn't matter. You can even run negative on the front end and make up with a superior back end because you're offering a great customer experience, you're offering great products that people are using, loving, and then they'll come back and buy more. So with that being said, I think learning aggressive direct response copy is important, but at the same time, it's not as necessary or useful as it used to be, especially if you're offering a high quality product. So with this principle in mind, what I want to focus on is pretty much all aspects of copywriting. We'll cover the more aggressive direct response style, and we'll also cover shorter copy that's a little more elevated that may be better suited for your e-commerce businesses. So, like I said, a lot of people don't focus on this aspect. Like, when you're looking at a high-end luxury skincare brand, they're not, creating 45-minute VSLs or, creating these long sales pages. Usually you go any high-end luxury skincare brand's website and they're really focused on maybe like 2 or 3 sentences at the most with a couple bullet points. Like, let's say La Mer, right? It's a real distinction that I don't think the current copywriting world addresses. How long should copy be? What should copy be about, right? So with that being said, let's get right into it. I'm going to warn you that there is a time and place for everything, and the answer can almost always be it depends. So I hope that the next few trainings really clarify the answer for you guys, when to use certain types of copywriting techniques and when not to use them. That's really what this training is going to be about, because I know all you guys are pretty well versed in copywriting, especially if you're selling products of your own through e-commerce businesses. So this video is more, I wanted to complement all the training you guys have been through in the past, because I'm sure this is not your first rodeo when it comes to copywriting. So we'll obviously go through all the basics, and from there we'll really discuss the nuances. So the first thing that I want to discuss is the funnel strategy that I've kind of advocated for when it comes to building direct response businesses. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with a review of the funnel strategy that we've been talking about in this course, in this series of trainings that I've been providing. Let's quickly review the framework for a direct response funnel. It starts off with your ads, which lead to a pre-sell page, which then link to your sales page for your offer, after which customers can check out. Once they check out and purchase the front-end offer, they're shown a variety of upsells that they can choose to take or not. And finally, you have your thank you page. From there, you can obviously use email marketing to follow up with your customers and upsell them on more products or ask them to replenish their current offers. It really depends. There's a lot you can do on the back end. One thing I will mention here is that your pre-sell page can also lead you to a dedicated video sales letter page or a sort of detailed written sales letter page that may take the place of your sales page, which is more product focused and reveals the price and features of your product. So that is a possibility, and you see that a lot in the ClickBank style, native style direct response offers. We'll address that here because this training, this first part of the training, is going to be focused exclusively on writing copy for pre-sale pages. So let's get right into it. Now, with your pre-sale page, it's often a good idea to write advertorials. Now, advertorials are about 750 to 1,500 words. They're not that long compared to the rest of your sales page, and they're written as more of a newsworthy article or something to intrigue your audience without necessarily revealing the product or providing too much detail. Okay, it's definitely focused on building curiosity. The headline that you use, the ads that you use, may not reveal that you're selling anything at all, and definitely not a physical product. So it's important when you're writing advertorials to answer the following questions. And depending on the strategy you use, whether you're building a lot of curiosity or not, you may want to answer what it is, what the offer is, how does it work, what makes it different, and how do you get it. Okay, again, you'll see a lot of different advertorials or pre-sale pages that don't reveal much at all. They'll just kind of use angle with a headline with curiosity and ask you to view a presentation, which then takes you to like a 40-minute training video or like a video sales letter, and then the offer is revealed after that. So that's also a possibility. Moving forward, when it comes to writing pre-sale pages, I think that there are three main elements that I like to focus on. The first is pain. It's really important to focus on the pain points your offer solves. Okay. The second thing is you want to create a story that kicks up emotions, agitates emotions associated with the pain points. So it's really important that you do your research and figure out what emotions are people feeling that are associated with the pain points that your product solves. And finally, you need to start framing your offer as the solution. You don't need to necessarily reveal the product, but definitely you need to start positioning it and framing the conversation so it naturally leads to your offer being the only logical solution. So these are very high-level principles I like to focus on. With that being said, let's move a little deeper into the copy. So when it comes to writing copy for pre-sale pages, there are some structures that I really like to focus on. And here are a few examples. I like to use the nightmare scenario, where something goes wrong, completely wrong, and the person has to figure something out. The narrator of the story has to figure something out to solve the problem, and our offer ends up being the solution to the problem. There's also the angle of using more of a news style article where you're informing the reader about some company or business that is disrupting the status quo, and maybe some kind of scientific breakthrough or discovery that somebody has made that's revolutionizing the lives of people with a specific pain point all over the world. Then there's also the simple product review, right? I think this is the easiest one to create. It's also easy to stay compliant on Facebook with this kind of style. Simple product review. Here's my review of this jacket. Here's my review of this supplement. Obviously, you can jazz it up with some kind of curiosity angles, but it's not anything that's too crazy out there, and you're not making crazy bold claims. Hopefully, and finally, there's the listicle. Let's say you're selling a variety of products. You can say, here are the top 5 gift ideas for Father's Day. That's definitely an interesting pre-sale page you can use to sell a variety of products that go to your store, and they're available to buy from your store. So I've kind of given a high-level overview here. Let's take a quick look at some of these pre-sale pages so you get a sense of what I'm talking about exactly here. So the first example I'll show you is the advertorial for the nightmare scenario. And you can see here, this is an article about a very scary situation. You can see the headline here. Mom exposes driving tip that saved her life and is now saving the lives of others. So this headline, it has two things. It's got the curiosity, right? It's got the benefit, driving tip that can save your life. And also creates this emotional situation around car safety. So that's, I think, something that it's a structure that a lot of you can use, whether it's a mom, a scientist, a journalist, some kind of figure, right? Some kind of hero of the story who shares a tip based on a traumatic experience that someone has. I think it's a really good structure to follow when you're doing this nightmare scenario. So when we scroll down, let's take a look. One of the best ways to start off an advertorial of this nature is to place the reader directly in the situation. So when you see the copy here, my kids and I felt like sitting ducks, it really places you right back in the situation, this traumatic scenario that's going to trigger those emotions that you want in the readers. And it obviously teases the situation. You might be dumbfounded too once you find out what it actually is and why it's genius. She witnessed a genius device that would ultimately save her and her children from possible death. So it teases the product. It teases what it can do, but you still don't know. Again, building up the curiosity keeps you reading the next sentence, right? And it talks about this scenario, right? Nothing worked, Cheryl said. My hazard lights wouldn't even turn on, and that's when I became frightened for my life. Now, thousands of parents across America are sleeping better at night knowing their teenagers have this simple device in their glove box. Click here now to learn more about this life-saving device. Okay, so obviously this is a broken link. There's nothing to click, but that's okay. Overall, I think the situation is a very powerful one because you're creating this pain point, car trouble in a situation where you have no one to look to for help. Very, very common fear that many people have when it comes to driving. As Cheryl and her children wait in the car for AAA to arrive, they quickly realize they were in serious danger. As you scroll down, I realized we were in a seriously dangerous spot because no one could see us. That's when Cheryl remembered the one tack roadside safety disc that her father had given her the previous Christmas. Again, it's often in these situations where the product comes in handy because a family member gave it, a neighbor gave it, a friend gave this product for someone to use, and it comes in handy in this crazy traumatic situation. He popped the travel case of discs in the glove box of her car and said, hopefully you'll never need these, but just in case. Again, that hits really the pain point, the emotions around the pain point, right? These are problems and fears that you hope will never come true, but it's good to have these products just in case. And so you're really getting to the mind of the customer with these kinds of quotes, right? Even though it's coming from the family friend or the father in this case, it's really speaking to the reader because you're buying this product to prevent something bad from happening in the future, just in case, right? These are not 100% necessary items. You're trying to prevent some kind of disaster from occurring. So placing someone in that situation and creating a story around it is often a great idea. So when it comes to something that makes your life easier, safer, using that nightmare scenario can be very powerful. So Cheryl obviously takes out the safety disc, steps outside, and over here you can see with the disc's built-in scratch-proof magnet, Cheryl attached 2 discs on the side of her car and then placed 2 more discs 10 feet and about 100 feet behind her car. And it's a miracle. Immediately, cars started slowing down around the bend and gave her extra space on the shoulder. A few cars even stopped next to Cheryl and asked if everything was okay. So you can see it's a very useful product that could prevent dangerous, collisions occurring when you're stopped on the roadside. Orange swirling light that can be seen up to 5,000 feet away. Now you're talking about the benefits, right? You've with the nightmare scenario you've created, you're able to discuss the benefits of the product, but now it's time to tease the features of the product. They have the scratch-proof magnet. The light can be seen up to 5,000 feet away. Even when roadside assistants arrived, they were impressed by the safety disc and commented on their quality. It's good enough for roadside assistance. It definitely passes the test there, the credibility there. Again, it's written like a news article. We saw this orange glow from up over the hill. One of the roadside workers said, "These little discs are powerful. Even if we didn't know where you were located, these are a great way to get people's attention." After Cheryl returned home safely, she reached out to One Tac and shared her story. So you can see she's holding up the product. She credits One Tac Road Safety Disc as the single device that protected her and her children's lives and gave them a feeling of safety and comfort when they need it most. Okay, so now the story is done, the nightmare scenario is done, and the product came and saved the day. It's time to talk a little bit about the product and its features, although we've kind of teased those benefits and features already. You can see it goes into kind of the sales pitch. Here are all the features. Now it's time to figure out, how can I get it, right? That's the question you have to answer. Where can I buy One Tac roadside safety discs? Apply discount, check availability. And obviously, if you're a little hesitant about everything, you can apply, you're shown the 100% money back guarantee. You're still doubting whether you want to check the next page or not? Here's a reason, that you don't want to buy a knockoff safety light. Again, call to action coming up here. Still not convinced? Here are some testimonials. So you can see, the basic elements of a sales page that we've discussed in the past. It really follows the customer's natural journey. First, you intrigue them with a story. Then you reveal the product and how it saved the day. It talks about the product features, where to buy it, call to action, money back guarantee. Talks about buying the right kind of product, and then finally social proof. So ideally, most people will just apply discount and check availability now, but there's also this extra text at the bottom to convince people who are unsure about clicking to the next page. So with that being said, this is one example of an advertorial that works well using the nightmare scenario technique. Let's move on to the next example. The next example focuses on the story of a revolutionary company or disruptive business owners, okay? So you may find this in like a Forbes feature, even like on Apple News, how a young company is disrupting an old, uninnovative industry with their revolutionary products, right? That's an interesting article of human interest that a lot of people will find intriguing. So you can see right above at the top here, it says advertorial, obviously. It's featured on Forbes, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, WebMD. You could see an article like this being featured on Fox News, Wall Street Journal, or even Forbes. How 2 Germans are crushing the market with these powerful Bluetooth hearing aids. What's interesting here is that you can be very product focused in your headline, because the story isn't necessarily about the product. It's more about the story of the company. And a lot of people enjoy reading articles about new businesses and revolutionary technology. So yes, hearing aids are a huge component of this, and it's going to attract people who are use hearing aids, are looking for better hearing aids, are in the market for new hearing aids. It's going to attract those people, but it's also going to attract people who just want to read an interesting story about a hot new company. So in this way, it's more of an indirect angle, more than pushing hearing aids onto somebody. Now, with the hearing aids, if you're selling hearing aids, you can obviously use the nightmare scenario as well. Lots of scary, crazy situations you can create around hearing aids. But I found this one interesting because despite the fact that you can use all these crazy scenarios and aggressive copy, you can also create an angle like this where you're just positioning a hearing aids company as a disruptive new brand. So if we scroll down, you can see New York, New York, Saturday, November 27, 2021. It looks, even the font looks kind of like the New York Times font. So, very much positioned as a news article. So you've got these doctors who've been creating successful businesses since college. Now they lead here.com. This is their story. Very positioned very much as a Forbes article about a, bright, new, young business that's making inroads in a old, mature industry like hearing aids. After many years of research and development, a team of engineers came up with a game-changing hearing aid that's completely crushing the market with powerful Bluetooth and German technology. It's not the first time I've heard of German technology being used in products. For some reason, a lot of direct response marketers love talking about German engineering and technology as a feature of their products. The result: hearing devices that pack cutting edge technology and design so small and thin they completely disappear behind the ear. It's called the Stiletto X by Signia. Again, talking about the benefits and features. Click here to find out if you qualify. I don't know why they have this link here and what you're qualifying for. Probably should introduce that, but I guess it doesn't matter because this offer seems to be doing well. It's virtually invisible, which is obviously a huge complaint or issue for people who wear hearing aids. It's the hearing aid of the future. It uses a unique algorithm that's clinically proven to deliver better than normal hearing. You will notice remarkable improvements in your ability to clearly understand speech. Clearly speaking to the reader, explaining why the product is good for them and the features the product has, all for a reasonable price. If you scroll down, as the number 2021, Here.com has partnered with over 2,000 hearing care specialists to ensure it's available. Here's how you can get started. Again, how to find it. It's really no surprise that this level of innovation is changing lives all around the world. Again, check if you qualify. Yeah, very standard, company disrupting an old industry style of writing an advertorial. So this is definitely one example. It's pretty straightforward. You can do this with basically any kind of product you're selling. So you can, obviously position your product as new and disruptive. And I think you can find a lot of opportunity with this kind of style. So that's it for this example. Let's move on to the next. The next example we'll look at is the review style advertorial. It's pretty straightforward here. You can see it's very product focused. You know exactly what people are selling. But again, it's indirect because you're positioning it as a review. You're not in someone's face trying to promote this neck pillow. And you'll see a lot of skincare websites use this review style. A lot of supplement websites use this kind of review style. It's pretty powerful. So it's something you may want to test out for yourself. So it's very, very straightforward. It's almost like a news article again. Here are the things you should prioritize, must-haves, what to avoid, how their system for reviewing is set up, what they prioritize in terms of features, product quality, third-party testing, customer reviews, price, return policy, guide to our rankings, which you'll see in any of these review websites. It's really very, very professionally put together. Our top pick shows up on the left side here. Our top three pillows. If I click check current pricing, it will probably take me to the website. Okay, the offer is down unfortunately now, but at the time when I saw this, it took you to a sales page. You can see the pros and cons. It rates everything here. Bottom line, talks about the product in detail. Again, check current pricing, call to action. It'll take you to the sales page. It throws in obviously these other two ones down here. The links will take you to an Amazon affiliate link. So even if you decide to buy one of the competitors, it will you'll make some commission off of it. Very, very smart of the offer owner. But you can see this website's very much set up like a typical review website. You'll see a lot of online affiliate websites look like this. But again, it's kind of an indirect way of selling the product. So I don't have too much to say about this. It's pretty self-explanatory, but definitely an option to test out. The final pre-sell page I want to share with all of you is the listicle style. And this is really good for those of you running more of a brand where you can't use sneaky direct response tactics, such as, let's say, the nightmare scenario advertorial. You can see Quip is obviously a huge brand in the DTC space, and this kind of listicle does really well on Facebook. So if you're running something that requires less aggressive copy, I think this kind of landing page would do really well for especially if you're running Facebook ads. So you can see 9 reasons somebody switched to a Quip electric toothbrush. You can literally create this listicle for any kind of product you're selling. So you can see it talks about the benefits, the features. It's very easy to promote any kind of product. You can see high quality, clean images, clean copy. I would say this is a very powerful landing page you can create for your business while remaining compliant with Facebook ad policy. So I would highly recommend testing this kind of advertorial out. It's more of a landing page than an advertorial, but definitely worth testing out for your brand. I really like this style of advertorial. It's very powerful. It doesn't require aggressive copy, and compliance is very easy to deal with here. So definitely recommend this strongly. So overall, when it comes to a pre-sale page, the structure looks usually something like this. You've got the headline with the curiosity and benefit, a sub-headline that makes you want to read the rest of the article. It's very focused on emotional storytelling if you're not using the listicle or review format. You want to kick up the emotions around the pain points, so you've got to address those as quickly as possible early in your copy. There's usually some kind of discovery or some kind of recommendation by a family member or friend. That's how the narrator in the story is introduced to the product, and then the product usually solves the pain point with a unique mechanism. And it's usually something that's teased in the beginning and that's fleshed out later on in the advertorial. And finally, you have a CTA asking the viewer to click to the next page, view a video, etc. The advertorials I showed here are very product focused. The product is revealed very clearly in the advertorials. And I think that really works really well, generally speaking, with e-commerce offers. There's obviously the clickbank style where the product is not revealed until 30 minutes into a video sales letter. But that's not an approach that we need to really follow. I've kind of laid out everything here for all of you guys. It's a simplifying approach where you reveal the product in the pre-sale page. So hopefully this kind of gives you a sense of what you can do with your pre-sale pages, and then from there we will move forward into writing copy for your sales letters, for your sales pages. Those trainings will be coming up very soon. I'm hoping that by the end of next month or even February 2022, you guys will have all the tools you need to write great, high converting copy for your offers. So this is hopefully a great return to the trainings that I've been putting together for all of you. And I will be continuing this trend for the next few weeks. And then from there, we'll be focusing on my own brand and case studies. And obviously, I've still got the info products that I'm selling. We're going to be doing some case studies around those and show you how to scale up info products using paid ads, organic methods, and things like that. So all that stuff is still on track. And, I'm planning on a huge 2022 for all of you in terms of producing interesting educational content. So I'll talk to you guys soon.